The British pound continues to hold elevated levels despite the risks of Brexit coming up. Yeah, we're only about 10 days away from what's been the most talked about global event, I think, over the last 2 years, just the ramifications, how it's going to go through. The pound has been a pretty much a barometer of market sentiment up until really, this year, when it seems to be running rather high, rather strong pound, given the risks that we're seeing in the event of a no deal. Now, obviously, the members of parliament voted. Last week, we saw that real wide range in the pound and end up on the highs. And we've kind of just been testing, making our way back to those highs. And it just seems to me that it's uncertainty that is driving the pound higher here, because you can't put your finger on it other than the fact that they still don't have a plan. They still aren't sure what's going on. The economic data right now, while it's favorable, is not great, and we're not seeing a whole lot coming out of the central bank there. And it just seems to me that all of this rests on the outcome of something that is very, very uncertain. And I think ultimately a lot of this rally we're seeing is likely short covering, and then we'll once we get past March 29, things will clarify. Things will the dust will settle, and we'll see where this thing goes. But right now we are still holding at very elevated levels, at least given what the circumstances are. And I think that right now buyers beware, because this could go either way in 10 days. And if you look at what the Bank of England, they have a meeting this week along with the Fed and several other central banks. But really the Bank of England, this is their last chance, Governor Carney's last stand to make an argument in an organized setting as to get your act together or push this thing down the road. And I think right now the market's sensing that they're going to get some kind of delay or some kind of extension, and that's probably why we're seeing the pound remain elevated. But they want to start doing something with monetary policy. They want to raise rates. They're not going to be able to do it in first quarter. I think that they want to do it sooner than later, but we'll probably have to wait until the second half of the year if the data continues to be where it is, if we continue to see wage inflation. And I think that how this whole Brexit thing settles will rest on monetary policy as well. So there's a lot of kind of uncertainty, not only with the pound, not only with Brexit, but with how monetary policy may have to become a little bit more easier if conditions worsen post-Brexit. And lastly, let's look at that euro-pound cross, another good barometer of where you see the favorability scales, or at least who's going to land on their feet better. And we've seen the pound outperform the euro. Now, given the fact that the European Union sort of sits in a better chair here, they don't have to come up with a deal. They don't have to come up with all kinds of ideas on how to sell this to members of parliament. They were waiting for a deal that they can then approve, or that they can then maybe put their own little flair on. But I think right now you're seeing that the euro uncertainty, or the pound uncertainty, is really what's driving the pound higher. Obviously, a little bit of short covering, and I think some short-term bulls that will probably be getting out over the next week or so. On the euro side, you already know the economy is weak. You already know that the ECB is going to probably instill some new quantitative easing. If it's not bond buying, you're hearing whispers of stock buying. I think that's going to continue to weigh on the euro currency, and that is what it's holding up this pound euro spread. So right now the pound remains strong as we are 10 days away from Brexit. We do have a policy meeting this week after the Fed. Likewise, everything comes down to that March 29th line in the stand, or will they push that line further down to, say, May or even June, has yet to be seen. But I think that's what's in the tarot cards, because right now the pound seems very optimistic and very strong for such an uncertain set of circumstances.